Hello, guys, and welcome to Stories, the True and the Fictional. We're all here to talk about me. No,
Mhm.
I swear, every time we do something about me, I feel like Ryan needs to get off his seat and introduce everything. But maybe,
Is that like a disabled joke? Like get out of my seat because I can't?
do you keep
Bastard.
going to that joke? Do you keep going
Yeah,
to
I
that
do.
joke?
I do. Well, you keep setting me up for it, man. Come
I
on.
know, I know,
I,
I
I'm
know.
I'm the minority here, man.
Okay, okay, that's all
But
right.
yeah, I was gonna message you today, and I was gonna go. You know what? I should probably host this.
Yeah,
And then I thought, nah, too much effort. I'll just let you do it.
excellent. Well, this is all about my new book, which is out now as time of release, not as time of recording. By Destin. But before we start talking about all that, let's go round the squares and introduce everyone. So let's start with Ryan. How are you going, Ryan?
Living the dream, mate. Twice in one day, you've got that phrase from me because we
Yep.
recorded an episode this morning. I am living the dream. I had a nap, so I'm much more refreshed. I've had my second energy drink for the day, so I'm ready and raring to talk about the fantastic Destin.
Wonderful. Now, which British person wants to go first? The one that's on the Australian shores.
Sure.
How are we, Matthew? How are you going?
Good, good. Long day, long day. Had to take the kids around to the park, took them to a birthday party, threw, threw food at them and threw them into bed just in time to be here. But I'm glad to be here and thank you for inviting me.
Oh, thank you for coming. So for those who may not know, why don't you plug your work a little bit? You're here.
Sure,
You've written
sure.
books.
I
So
have indeed. I've got my first book, A Reign of Emerald Fire, and then the sequel, A Path Fraught with Ruin. Almost forgot the title there. I are my first two books into my comedic fantasy series. Yeah, both of them are out in both ebook and paperback, and if you haven't read it yet, you should give it a damn good try.
Yeah.
excellent, excellent. A lot of people say that writing comedy is hard. I don't find it hard, but do you find it hard?
Well, it depends if you find it funny or not. I think I'm hilarious, so I
Yeah,
find it. I feel like it's
yeah,
pretty easy, but my wife never laughs at anything I ever say. So
yeah.
tough crowd. It really just depends.
Yes.
I
Awesome.
was, I was going to say, Jamie, what do you mean you find it easy? I've read everything you've written and I haven't laughed at anything once. So,
Not
what
not
comedy have you written?
Letters from the Emu War.
The
No,
bestseller.
that wasn't funny. That was historical. I haven't read this one yet. The one that I'm holding up to the camera, giving you some self plug. The Wedding Night trilogy. I've only read the first
You've read the
first
first one.
part of that. So,
Yeah.
and that wasn't funny.
That's because
it
it's a
was no,
dedication.
it was kind of funny.
There's funny elements. It wasn't a comedy. Like it was like those dark movies with that have a little bit of funny in it to
Yeah,
break the mood, to
yeah.
Like my wedding video.
See, that's funny. And I have read Matthew's first book, and he does comedy pretty well.
Ah,
So
Yeah.
gotcha.
I
Thank you.
will say
There you
that.
go.
So
There
Thank
you
you very
go.
much.
There you go. But apparently emus writing war correspondence to themselves is not funny.
it's satirical. But
Yeah.
the thing is, because I just picture them all being read by our mutual friend Chris, and his southern accent is just
Mm,
to die
yeah.
for. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Excellent. Neil, I know you haven't written anything, but you do some wonderful wort videos with us. Why don't you plug your wife's wares, seeing she's, a sponsor of the show?
Could do that, I suppose. Yes, the
Rising Dawn series.
I'm trying to decide which one to go for first because the Rising Dawn series would be the obvious one to go for because there's that many of them. But also, she's recently released the Broken Cabin,
Hmm.
which I actually had a hand in. And also check out the Wirt series on Stories, the True and the Fictional, featuring me.
Yes, that's good. Yes, wort. We came up with that. We figured, hey, let's judge some books by their covers because that's what we all do, and then it's proving to be quite a hit. We got just as many requests for people's books to be judged as we do for people wanting to come on this podcast. it's a lot of fun, and I'll quickly make the announcement. We've announced it once before, but we're going to start doing awards. So
Mhm.
Ryan is going to pick the best read of the year because he reads way more than us, and it's only fair with the amount
Mhm.
of books that he goes through. He can pick the winner
Yep.
of the best read. Me and Neil are going to pick the best book cover of the year, and both winners are going to get a free year of getting your stuff plugged round the clock. Well, not round the clock, but
Mhm.
round the episodes. We're not going to be standing at
And
the window going, ah.
I think like up until it's so weird now that we're talking about I Destin. I've read like 5 books since I
Hmm,
read I Destin, so I'm trying to
yeah,
remember it all. But like I thought when you announced the awards that my choice was going to be pretty
easy.
predictable. But in saying that, the last 3 books that I've read have been amazing. So I'm kind of sort of, I don't know. I'm kind of now understand where people need to pick more than one because at the
Yeah,
moment, pretty much every book I have read this year has been amazing. So
yeah.
Oh, thank you.
it's yeah, no, I read yours. I read yours this year, Matthew. So it has been
Thank
amazing.
you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Um,
I'll accept
but
the award later
yeah.
if you like. It's
And,
send it
look,
care
I will
of.
say, and I am a little bit biased because I am a massive horror fan, and I've been reading nothing but horror for the last 4 books,
Mm,
and I must say that I am quite biased towards horror, and I've read some real bangers, real good horror stories this year, and I'm a guy that before we started this podcast, I used to just read Stephen King and Dean Koontz, and that was it. And I've discovered so many amazing indie authors, fantasy, horror, everything. So it's going to
No,
be a tough choice.
and horror, like I don't really read much horror, if ever, actually. But I imagine like to do a good one, like to actually get that unique,
Hmm.
because it's harder to get the scares than I'd imagine like an original scare in a novel than it is
yeah,
Yeah,
to write a fantasy story. Most fantasy
definitely.
stories follow kind of a traditional path, and everyone's kind of aware of that.
Hmm.
And you get variations here or there, and blah 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 blah. But you need those scares in a horror book, or it's just not a horror book. You're not
yeah,
going to enjoy it. So
yeah.
to get that original
Hmm.
spin on it is, I would,
Yeah.
yeah, hats off to anyone who can write a solid horror novel. I don't think I'd have the ability in me to to even
Well, I
try.
mean, I love my fantasy reads as well because I'm an avid D&D player. For the last year and before that, me and Jamie and our other 2 friends have been playing every month religiously, and so I love fantasy, which is good. But I just love horror that much more, and I didn't think that I would ever find any horror authors other than Stephen King that could actually give me that investment in the characters. But I've read, Janelle Sheikey, Blake Myers, S.S. Fitzgerald, Molly McCabe. I've read all of their books in the last 6 months.
Oh, wow.
And wow, it's just the one I'm reading at the moment. I was fully invested in one of my favorite characters, and just yesterday afternoon, when I was reading it, about 60% of the way through, the author just killed him off, and I'm like, oh, and I actually felt something. I felt something, and I was like, wow, that book actually made just words on a page made me feel sad that this
Yeah,
person had died. So yeah.
yeah,
Well, while he's not here yet, I think our good friend Amy Cormack, I
yeah,
think he's written a horror novel or novella or short story.
yeah,
I believe so. I might be worth giving that a try as well. I mean, he's not here to plug his own
Hmm.
work, so I
yeah.
might do that
I've
for him.
got
But
Yeah. I
I've
will
got
mention
two of
that.
his books. I've got 2 of his books on my Kindle in my TBR to be read list. That's probably one of them.
Yeah. So yeah, we invited Annie Cormack. He's a huge part of iDestin. Um,
Hmm.
so he may turn up, he may not. I know Don Campbell said he was going to pop in
Hmm.
about an hour after we started because he's running. Ryan
Yeah,
made a good point.
literally.
Like Ryan made a good point. Like why didn't he just chime in when he was running? It's,
yeah. I have no doubt that Don would. I thought he would have just chimed in because that's how committed he is
yeah,
to being here. And
yeah.
but yeah, that's another good horror author too. I've read 2 of his
Mm.
books this year, and they're just amazing. But yeah.
I read one and it creeped me out, and then he sent me something going like, "I'm working on something. Can you read this and let me know if I got something?" I'm like, "Oh no, here we go." Because he just creeps me out, and it was a really cool idea. I'll let him discuss it later if he wants to. I'm not going to reveal all the secrets. But yes, all right.
Enough of other people's work. We're here to talk about
Yeah.
Me! All
yours.
right. I'll do the no, it's what I do. I'm here to support all indie authors. It's not about me. And the best way to get people to read your book is to read other people's books and support,
Mhm.
that's what you do. So I'm going to bring up the cover. Have you seen this one, Neil? Did we talk about this once?
Yes, this
Yeah.
is familiar.
You made me do a word on it. And Neil
I didn't
asked if
make you do anything. I
I know.
suggested it.
Yeah, well, that counts. And then he said, would I read? He asked me if I would read this, and I'm like, I've read it about 6 times when I was writing it.
The perennial writer's problem. You get sick of your own work by the
Yep.
time it's ready to publish.
Yeah. Well, it's been good because the last month I've been working on something completely different. So this has just kind of left my mind a little bit. So when you, Matthew, you pointed out some things I missed, that was really helpful, you know.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so tweaks have been made, minor tweaks. And yeah, so I think it's very, very polished.
Did you create the cover yourself?
Yes, I did.
Damn, I wish I'd had the ability to do that.
Yeah. No, well, I've got a knack for certain things. Um,
Cover design, love making.
no, yeah, but like if I can't do it myself, I'll get someone to do it. So the other,
We're still talking about the cover design, or
yes,
Yeah. No, we're talking about love making. Talking about love making. If he can't do it himself, he'll get someone else to do
I
it.
just lie there and yeah. When all else, no, it's the same principle across the board. When all else fails, Canva. No, yeah, no. So I wanted to do something like Ancora,
Mhm.
but I couldn't afford it. I really couldn't afford it this year. So I may redo the cover at some point. But this turned out really well.
Yeah.
To the point that when I ordered the author copy and it came, I pulled it out. I thought I'd ordered the wrong book, and I thought it was Ancora because it's the color scheme is the same. Um,
Right.
and but yeah,
Oh,
I wanted to do
consistency.
something more extravagant, which I might do for a hardcover or something at some point.
Yeah.
I'm kind of saving my pennies for my next book because it's a fantasy.
Mhm.
But yeah, like the eagle on the front, the faded wolf in there, like that's a kind of a nod to two important characters of it. And also if you've read Ancora, there's an eagle wolf hybrid, so that's kind of like
Mhm.
woo, you know, a nod to the
The
So that's
mountains, which are relevant,
yes, mountains are relevant.
very relevant.
so that's actually a question I was going to ask, because I'm assuming with a lot of Destin, obviously I've not read Ancora, so I think as I
Yeah,
said in my review, I don't know if there was things I've missed because I haven't read
yeah.
Ancora, and so but is the setting to iDesting, is that kind of like local to you? Is that like based on a real kind of
Yeah, like where
actual
where I
location?
where I live, write what you know. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, because yeah, well, I literally got I went to Google Earth and I just landmarked stuff. I made a map using
Yeah.
Google Earth, and it's just like certain landmarks, and it was made it really easy to write. Sometimes I'd go out for a walk and not die, and be like, yeah,
So
this is
uh, is the I'm not going to give away what the location is for anyone who reads it. Not that it's a huge spoiler, but the place that they not the bunker, but the place that the main characters all
okay. Yeah, fine at
retreat
the
to.
end.
Yeah, is that an actual location? Is that
No,
some?
no.
No, that's completely
I placed it in a location, but it's
right.
not that. That's a mythical, not a mythical. It's a thing I made up.
Okay, I
Um,
wasn't sure if there would be like some rich dude out there who just
well,
an eccentric British guy who's like, I want a slice of home
yes,
in Australia somewhere. I'm
yes.
building myself one
Well,
of
that's
these.
that's not too far from accurate because there's a private zoo, 40 minutes from my place, and it's completely shut down. Like it doesn't work. Like I think someone lives there, but there's all the cages there, but there's no animals, anymore.
Right.
And it's like it is the epitome of eccentric,
Kind of like a Joe Exotic kind of
Yeah,
private zoo kind of.
yeah,
As a
Yeah.
call back to 5-6 years ago.
yeah. But the town, which everyone know, if you've read Ancora, Mother's Sorrow, and where Brianna's hometown is, that's an actual town called Bilpin.
You have to once this all goes, explodes into a bestseller status, you'll have to organize guided tours.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Extra money.
Yeah. Well, it is a little different because I did kind of tweak what Bilpin looked like. Just kind of location stuff.
And then when you do the guided tours, you can go, and this is where everyone was in the town was slaughtered by about 10. So I'm sure the residents of Bilpin will really like that.
Yeah. Well, it's well, before we dive further, any other thoughts on the cover? Does it match?
I think that you should clear up for our American listeners that it is in fact a wedge-tail eagle, not a bald eagle. Because from the silhouette, it kind of it's kind of not a generic eagle, but like I'm pretty sure a lot of Americans will be like, America, that's a bald eagle. It's not. It's a wedge-tail eagle from Australia.
Yes, because
that means it's got a knife, not a gun.
Well, I started Ancora, I made it more ambiguous, like it could be set anywhere, and then I went on a podcast and they're going like, "No, man, you got to make it Australia because it'll be a selling point." And I went, "Oh, screw it, all right, Australia, it's Australia." That's a wedge tail,
Yeah, but it works. And going back to what Matthew was saying, like he hasn't read Ancora. I found that as someone who did read Ancora before it came out and then read Destin before it came out, I think they're set far enough apart that you don't necessarily have to have read Ancora, but I think if you haven't read Ancora and you read Destin, it would make you want to read Ancora because isn't it 500 years in the after the events of Destin, Jamie?
I'm sorry, Amy Cormack just messaged me.
No, that's cool. Isn't Ancora set 500 years after the events in Destin?
No, 300 years? 300? No. So it's 300 years after the aliens arrive.
Oh, so say about maybe 200,
250, 260, maybe. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but in saying that, Matthew, definitely you will love Ancora because I've read Ancora twice now, and I've read Destin once because Destin was a little bit longer. I think it's such a unique take on the survivalist. I'm not going to say post-apocalyptic because it's not really, but it's more like a survivalist Hunger Games kind of feel to it. Yeah. With the 12 different colonies in Ancora. And I definitely think if you loved Destin, you will definitely love Ancora, and vice versa. If you loved Ancora and you're listening to this and you want to know whether you should buy Destin, definitely, because it just gives you. I'm one of those people who likes to know everything about all the worlds, and the fact that this takes you back to when the aliens first arrived, and then like 50 years after that. I think it's a great story to accompany Ancora. So
yeah, I mean, I think I said yesterday, I didn't read Destin knowing that there's a Ancora there. I didn't read it, like feeling like I was missing out on anything. Like there's a possibility that there's like things that I didn't click necessarily. Like people who read Ancora would go, that's a thing that's mentioned. Those little things, but it didn't feel like I was missing out on anything having read the prequel first before going back. But so with Ancora being set, say, 250 years later or whatever it is, it's kind of very much I suppose, using a horror analogy, kind of like a George R. Romero's sort of Destin. It's kind of like a Dawn of the Dead kind of thing where not long after the apocalypse or whatever
Yeah.
this is happening, and then Ankara is kind of like a Day of the Dead, where
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
this shit has been going on now for
Yeah.
X amount of years, and
Yeah,
right, okay,
yeah, definitely, and it is and it does all tie in at the end of Ancora. So having read I Destin and not Ancora, it's going to sit better than what I did when I read Ancora first and then I Destin. So
Yeah.
like having read I Destin, things happen in Ancora that you're going to go, oh yeah, I remember that, and
Yeah.
it works better. Like, I mean, as I said, it doesn't matter if you read one or the other or both.
it will give you a
To
different
get the full
spin.
flowing experience. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Because you'll have questions in iDestin that will be answered in Ancora. You'll have questions in Ancora that will be answered in iDestin, you know?
Right,
Oh,
okay.
Destin. Yeah.
Yeah.
As
And
I've
that's
been making my way through it, I think as I've been messaging Jamie and when we've been recording Words episodes and I've been talking between them, I think we've said a few times that I like that as I'm reading through iDestin and I'm kind of, this is that, but from this perspective, or the things that were vaguely mentioned as a historical event here, I now get to experience firsthand.
Right,
But
okay.
also, like you say, you read iDestin without having read Ancora first, and you kind of go, like you say, you don't feel like you're having to fill in the gaps. You don't feel like, I feel like there's something missing here
Yeah.
that the first book would have helped me with.
And that's difficult to do because I guarantee you quite a lot of people who would write prequels would be kind of trying to shoehorn these things that they've mentioned in previous books to make sure they're kind of referenced, but they would feel disjointed and not kind of affects the flow of the story because they're like, oh,
Yeah.
well, I need to put this in here at some point, so let's
Yeah.
insert this here. So actually, and like one of the things I've also said, like with it being only just shy or just above 300, it's like 300 and something pages, 16, 20,
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah.
It's very well balanced. The story's all there.
Yeah.
Nothing's feeling like it's being missed, but nothing feels like you're being kind of, let's cram as much of this detail in to make sure that is enough of Ancora is explained. Which is, a good balance, like a difficult balancing act to pick, to manage.
Yeah, well,
Definitely.
I absolutely hate just dilly-dallying. Like, like a lot of people spend a lot of time, focusing on one little thing. I'm going like, something always has to be happening. I just can't. It's like, I don't know. It's like
Yeah.
my own ADHD or something. It's just like something's got to be happening. Every dialogue has to mean something, and it's got to move it forward.
As a dilly-dallyer, yeah, I get that. I get that. I understand that frustration because I hear that. I hear that complaint a lot.
I mean, one of my biggest flaws in my own life is when people are telling me a story and I'm going like, in my head, I'm going, can you just get to the point? Like, you're going the long way around. Could you just tell,
Yeah.
Fair.
If you're a really good storyteller, then that's all right. Like my niece is just, how long can I take to tell you this story?
Yeah.
It's just like, speak.
You're not being paid by the paid by the word. Just get it out.
Yeah.
But in saying that about I Destin, my thing was when I finished it and I messaged Jamie, I said to him, "You could write a sequel to I Destin because there's still plenty of questions I have from Ancora that are not answered in I Destin. Like when I Destin ends, there's still another 250 years of things that happen." That you allude to in Ancora.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah, you could definitely write a sequel to I Destin.
It's rattling around there, but the thing is, it's one of those things. It'll be like the Titanic. You know how it's going to end. And it's just like there's no more twist thing I could do, or unless I end it right before that thing that happens. But
I'll kind of like that. I mean, I haven't watched it, but I know of it. The Star Wars prequel that came out a few years ago, where they ended it just as Darth Vader was.
Yeah, Rogue One.
Rogue One. Okay, by that one. It's kind of like that. You do something.
Yeah.
Kind of like that. Okay.
Yeah. Look, it's rattling around my head. My next focus is going to be the book I'm working on now. Then I want to try and do um the next two Ancoras because it's going to be a trilogy.
Yeah.
And then maybe then I might, if I'm not sick of the world, I might do I Destin 2.
World fatigue is definitely a thing as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
Definitely been feeling that
And
myself, and
that
you do have to mix
and
it up.
that's why you could do what you did. What we had Tim McKay on this morning, and what he's done. That's very smart. He wrote his first book, and then he's written two shorter novellas,
mm,
and then he's written those, and in between he's writing the second book of his three-part series, and then he said after he's finished the second book of his three-part series, he's going to write another two novellas
mm,
before he goes to part three to avoid that world fatigue.
Yeah. To plug my own stuff, that's basically what I'm doing right now. My
yeah,
third book that I'm working on is stepping away from the main plot of books one and two, to focusing on a character from book two,
mm,
and it's changing it up in terms of A Reign of Emerald Fire, Path Toward a Ruin are all multi POV, all over the place. It's quite in there, like, book one's about 330 pages, book two's like 500 and something. This is going to be one character, first person, and about 40,000 words.
mm.
Yeah.
Just to kind of, I needed to do that to sort of keep myself sane before moving on to the sort of concluding part of this arc. Because I'd been working on those other two books non-stop, well, not non-stop,
Yeah,
but for a long time, for about 10 years on and off. And it was just getting too much. I needed a break, and I wanted to write
Yeah.
something. I had plans to write. I've got like other novel ideas or other book ideas set in different genres and different styles, but I'm kind of like, I need to finish this world first
yeah,
before touching one of those. So I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I'll do a novella now, or a short story or whatever now, then finish that arc, and then I can look at doing other things, because Prenos is an ongoing series anyway. There's
yeah,
lots of books planned for that, but they'll all be standalones after this point. Whereas this kind of
Yeah.
3 book arc, I just need to get finished, and it's just like,
Yeah.
yeah,
So yeah,
Well, that's kind of like what you've done, Jamie. You wrote Ancora, then you wrote I Destin,
yeah.
and then you wrote The Boy Who Slayed the Gargoyle, and
Hmm.
you're working on the Blood Moon Thief, which are set in the
Yeah,
same world,
yeah,
of what the world we know about because it's from our D&D campaign.
yeah,
And then I suppose if that's the way that you write the best, you can write 2 books at once and
yeah,
then take a break and do that. Then hats off to you. But I think that the Ancora world, because I read Ancora and then I read I Destin of yours in a
mm,
row.
yeah,
Because before I read I Destin, I reread Ancora because I
hmm,
got the hardcover from you. And
you're a good
I could
friend.
have oh yeah, look, I always read all this stuff, except for this one, but I could have easily read another 2 books on the Ancora series straight after I Destin, and I just think
yeah,
that's just down to the way that you tell your story. It's not, it's not boring at all. It's intriguing,
hmm,
and it just makes you want more. So, I mean, I could have read a sequel to I Destin literally as soon as I finished
finished. Yeah,
I Destin. So,
yeah. Well, the thing is, I can't say, all right, I'm going to write a novella, or I'm going to write like
mhm,
I have a story. I want to tell my story.
yeah,
Like the boy who slayed the go was going to be a novella, and it was turned up being
yeah,
like a novelette. Like it didn't need to be long. Um, and that's how I kind of operate. I can now writing the Blood Moon Thief. I'm like, it's gonna be long. I just feel
yeah.
it's fantasy, and I'm going like, well, I'm what almost. I think I just passed 18,000 words, and they're kind of still in the beginning.
And
Well,
you're
that's what I
just,
was going to say. I was going to say I've read the first because I'm doing alpha reading for Jamie on this. He's sending me when he finishes a couple of chapters, he'll send it to me. So the last one he sent me was the first 12 chapters, and I
Mm,
read that, and it feels like we're just
getting
starting
starting.
out,
Yeah,
and that's almost 100 pages.
yeah,
I think it's like 80,
as
87
is
pages.
tradition with fantasy, I would
yeah.
say.
Exactly, yeah.
Which means,
And that doesn't bother me at all. I'm ready for it to be like 400-500 pages.
yeah. Well, I'm like, it's a fantasy. It's kind of telling me that it's a fantasy. Just by how much yeah.
It's guiding your hand.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. But we're not here to talk about my future projects. Why don't you go around the room and tell me how wonderful I no just
It's like a
overall
podcast
thoughts.
circle jerk of how I Destin.
Yeah, no, just overall thoughts. Without spoilers. We will get to spoilers later.
Okay, without spoilers. Yeah, I mean, obviously, like I did a review yesterday, so those kind of things are quite fresh. I don't really read sci-fi, so it was kind of like I wasn't sure. I don't know, it's not fully like it's post-apocalyptic, well,
Yeah.
not post-apocalyptic, all that kind of stuff. But I found it very refreshing in terms of it wasn't overbearing. It didn't kind of have all these kind of. I mean, I remember reading the last sci-fi book I read. I couldn't tell you the name of it because it was
Mm.
quite a while ago. I know it was written by a South Korean author, and it just dropped you into the middle of this space battle with all these technical terms and all these kind of things. And I had no idea what the
Yeah.
was going on. And none of this happens in fantasy as well, but I feel like in my brain, I get it a lot more than I do with sci-fi. And I used to love sci-fi
Mm.
as a kid. Um, but like Destin had that great kind of thing where it had these kind of elements of obviously the invasion that's taking place, but it was very much a character driven,
Mm.
emotion driven story with
Yeah.
these elements of sci-fi and survival and all the
Yeah.
blending together very nicely with some great side characters and the sort of high stakes involved, which having not read Ancora, I have no
Mm.
idea how they play out. That would
Yeah.
be the thing I would say for someone who hasn't read Ancora, starting with Destin is, you know, you said now that the Ancora continues on in 250 years. I assumed it was like
Like straight after.
basically, or like
Yeah.
50 years or something down the line, or the
Yeah.
next generation.
Yeah.
Because we're not going into spoilers, so I won't say that. God, it's bloody difficult.
It is. We'll get there. We'll get there. Don't
We'll
worry.
get there. But yeah, like it had some and there was obviously the character references of people that we know from
Mhm.
social media and all that. That was like an enjoy. And obviously,
Yes.
being an English guy living in Australia, picking up on those Australian references was like an enjoyable kind of side note
Yeah.
as well, kind of like an in joke. And it was just like it was great storytelling. I didn't feel like it was a chore
Mm.
in any way. Like one of the things I know I'm guilty of when writing is I can waffle on
Yeah.
quite a bit when it comes to scenery and all this kind of crap.
Yeah.
It was very much what was written was very well detailed, but it was very much I've separated the wheat from the chaff.
Yeah.
Boom, this is what's going on, the fight scenes. Boom, this is what's
Yeah.
going on. And it's all clear. You're not being left
Yeah.
wondering who's attacking who from where and all this kind of stuff. I write books, Uh,
That's all right. Yeah. That's
but yeah,
right.
no, loved the
Yeah.
story. Very much
Yeah.
enjoyed it. And like I said, it was one of the quickest reads I've had in a long time. And
Mm.
not just because it was only 330 pages and fantasy.
Yeah.
Most books I read are like 1,000 plus. It was
Yeah.
I picked it up and read it pretty damn quickly as I can with two kids
Yeah.
in my life and work and
Yeah.
a house to clean.
Awesome. Right, Neil, you haven't done much talking. We've got to retest your audio anyway, so
Testing, testing.
That's perfect.
perfect.
For now. Yes, I finished reading last night. Just because, as Matthew said, with kids and I've got four. The
Oh, shut up.
no, I can I see where you're coming from. It's like, right, I need time to read. When I need to sleep. But I finished off reading I Destin last night. I really enjoyed it. The kind of story, here is a situation, it's already bad, and now someone's going to start trying to fight back. That kind of story is right in my wheelhouse. The building up a group, building up supplies, establishing a base. That's the kind of game I like to play. But this is like State of Decay or playing Daisy or something. It's all most I say not strictly apocalypse, but collapse.
Yeah,
maybe. Games I play are all zombies, so having it be something different is a breath of fresh air. And you talk about, I didn't pick up on anything that was specifically a reference that you Australians would get that I wouldn't. So apparently they're there, and I didn't get them. But then the fact that there are, if you can put references into a story that aren't necessarily something that's going to detract away from the story if you didn't get it, that's a win. But I will be asking later on, either later on during spoilers or after we're done recording. I will be asking about that because now I'm curious.
see, I'm terrible with that. I will fill things full of like British TV show references and shit like that. That sometimes I'll get like people will be like, no, didn't get anything, didn't get any of the jokes because they're too niche British. And then occasionally someone will message me and we go, boom. Like I got that. I had someone message me about 6 months ago and it was like, oh, you got a reference to the free seashells from Demolition Man in your book. I'm like, loved it. Like, yes, finally someone caught that.
The only thing in that movie that hasn't come true yet.
You're not using the free seashells?
So there's something that I did pick up on. The way that my brain works when I'm reading is characters are at a place and place gets description.
Yeah.
And my brain then visualizes what I interpret that to look like. And then as another detail comes a few paragraphs later, my brain is then on the fly editing that picture in my head. Like, oh, it's actually this color, or oh, that's not there, it's here. Because I'm apparently a very visually oriented person. At no point when Jamie sets a setting in a scene, my brain comes up with a picture of it, and at no point did I feel that I had information withheld from me that then came later that made me change my mental picture of it. You get enough information to set it up for yourself, but like you say, not going into crazy levels of detail. It's just here's what you need to know, and there's nothing for me was contradicted later on, and I really enjoy that because then my brain I'm focusing on the story rather than my brain refiguring out the fact that the bridge is over there, not over there, and what have you. Which means when when there's an action scene, and then it says, "Oh, people ran to the wall over there." I'm like, there was no wall over there mentioned. There was no mention of walls. Now there's a wall. What?
Yeah.
There was nothing like that. So that really worked for me. And again, I'm going to edit me if I put spoilers in here. There are a number of events and references to Ancora that, as Matthew has said, having not read Ancora, you didn't feel like you were completely oblivious to what's going on. But then things like the playing cards, that is quite a thing in Ancora.
Right. I was wondering why they came up so much. Well, not so much, but enough to be kind of like, there's a thing. Have I missed it? I'm glad you brought that up.
No, it's I don't even want to go into spoilers for Ancora because anyone that's curious,
I'm going to read it. So
so I'm not going to drop any spoilers.
Well, playing cards aren't spoilers in Ancora. It's just the currency,
okay.
Or one of the currencies,
Right.
Used for bartering and certain cards are rarer than others.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So I liked the fact that it wasn't a big thing and you didn't make a big song and dance about it. It was just a thing. Oh,
Just a
people are
thing.
doing this
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
And as I'm reading it, I'm like,
Yeah,
huh?
I know that. Yeah.
That's good actually. Now that you've mentioned that, that is subtly
Yeah.
put in there.
Yeah. So there's bits with certain events that are described in depth in iDestin are referenced or described in Ancora
Yep.
to more or less different levels where I feel like again, I don't want to do spoilers for this one bit, but you get some information and there is a thing that happens. Then you get the build up to the thing that happens, and it gives you more context. Then you get what happened afterwards, and you get even more context. There are subtle references to things that I will absolutely not mention, and I like those.
Yeah.
I can't really. I can't really separate out anymore without spoilers. So
So
I will pass on to Ryan here,
we'll
and we'll save the rest of my rambling for when we
talk
go into
spoilers.
spoilers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think I've read Ancora. I mean, I read iDestin, I think maybe a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
Because I don't have any adult responsibilities like children. I read it in I think maybe a week of reading a couple of hours each night. And yeah, I loved it. I really liked the brief look at Destin that we got in Ancora. So when Jamie told me he was working on a prequel all about Destin, I was like, okay, cool. That's gonna give me more concept of that. I think it's like a 3-chapter thing
3 or
in
4,
Ancora. The whole
flashback.
Brianna thing. Yeah, flashback, yeah. And it was good to get a perspective on, when the aliens essentially first arrived and, the 50 years that followed. You do a good job in the first couple of chapters of explaining that.
Yeah.
And then we get thrust into Destin's role in that. And then I think the rest of this book takes place over about a 6 to 12-month period, I think. Just from memory, I know it's in 4 different parts, and I know there's a couple
longer,
of months
I
break here.
think.
Yeah, maybe longer.
The first one's like 6 months, because then there's a 6-month gap. So I kind of aimed it between a year and 2 years.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
because
which is enough time. It's enough time to build up to what happens at the end.
Yeah.
But I really, really liked it. Again, I'm like Neil. There's not much I can really say without spoilers. But yeah, it is I don't like sci-fi at all. Like, I watch Star Wars, I've watched Star Trek, and that's it for sci-fi with me. Jamie will know that they tried to get me into Stargate by doing a Stargate D&D campaign, and I was like, oh yeah, let's watch it. And then I watched the movie again. I was like, yeah, let's. And then my wife loves Stargate as well, and she was like, let's watch the series. And I watched 6 episodes, and I'm like, I'm just tired of seeing the same area of Canada for every different planet that they go to, every different Stargate that they go through.
Try watching Doctor Who, where everywhere is just a piece of Cardiff.
Yeah.
Or the older Doctor Who, where everywhere's just some random beach in somewhere in England. Oh, this is the new planet Orblox, and it's just a fucking bit of Newcastle or something.
I just couldn't, I don't like sci-fi that much. But in saying that, I didn't really, to me, there were aliens, but it didn't really feel like sci-fi to me. It felt more survivalist. That was the kind of feeling that I got for it. But great. It was good. Like, as Neil said, there were certain parts where in reading Ancora, reading iDestin, you go, oh yeah, that's in there for people who have read Ancora. Yeah. And that kind of like the whole playing card thing. It elaborates on something that is quite prevalent in Ancora. And I think it left it at a really good point in the story. Um, and it was I just can't get over like this is I don't think this is a spoiler, but every time Amy Cormack was in that book, it just made me crack up laughing. And there was little nods to not even Ancora, but to our conversation about Ancora, where Amy Cormack just went off and made up the premise to the last half of the book, where there's like evil toaster robots. So the lady that was selling toasters in the city is like, get your toasters. I'm like, yeah, that's an Amy Cormack thing.
Yeah.
And that's something I did actually mention, like as I mentioned earlier on, that I like offered a little bit of notes or feedback, and I like one of the things I asked was like, Amy Cormack is the only person who is mentioned by their full name at every turn.
Yeah.
Is that intentional or was that a thing?
I did decide to change it.
You did, okay.
Yeah. So I mixed it up, but it was because to me it was just piss funny. But then I could realize it's funny to me, but it may not be funny to.
But like we always do refer to him by his full name, and I don't know why.
Yeah. So
because it's not like Amy is. It's not like Amy's a common name where we've got like 5 Ami's we know that we're going to be getting confused with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't think I've never referred to him as Amy. It's always been Amy Cormack.
Yeah.
And I guess kind of because his character was a bit of a hybrid, I kept thinking that maybe that's why he kept referring to him in the book as Amy Cormack, because he's like a half hybrid kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was every time he appeared, I was just like, oh, funny. But
and the map was done perfectly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think in his note, it's like how I feel about maps, but he's one that you.
I was waiting for it. And then when it came, I was like,
yeah.
Yes.
When I got to that point, I think I DM'd Jamie.
Yeah, you did.
Away.
Yeah.
I don't do
roll
maps.
credits.
Yeah. No, it was very good, and it was good because all of the people that were mentioned in the book from our I like to say our world, but I'm not an author, but from our community, from all the interviews we've done, I knew every single one of them, and I was there were certain things that happened to Neil's character that I messaged Jamie and I'm like, man, that was just nice, and it's just like it's just. And I'm so glad that I survived, and that was like the ultimate thing that I survived, and other people didn't.
I have made a list of all the cameos, but before we bring that up, and I want to ask you, Ryan, because the villain Talkazor was basically a Chris. Like when we play Dungeons and Dragons with our friend Chris, he has a villain voice that he does, so I kind of based him off of Chris villain. So I was wondering, did you read him in Chris's voice?
Yep.
Yeah.
100%. Before you even told me that, that's what it was based off. I just had, and you know what? That was another thing I was going to mention. That you know how to write a villain. Like as soon as he appeared, in like the third chapter or something.
Oh, it's like chapter 1 or 2. Yeah.
Chapter 1 or 2. I hated him. I wanted him dead. I wanted him dead straight away.
Can you give us a flavor of this voice?
Oh, jeez.
Funny thing is, I didn't know that's how you based it. And having been on a lot of earlier episodes of the podcast with Chris, when he's doing all his voices, I feel like next time I read Destin, that's what my head is going to be doing.
Hang on. I'll find one of his quotes and I'll try because I can't. Where is it?
It's kind of like and it's no offense to the two British men in the chat. It's kind of like an evil British, picture like an evil British wizard, and he'd be like, "Yes, excellent."
Kind of like the Shane Wizard from Big Mouth kind of thing, or if you've seen that, no?
Kind of, yeah, kind of. It's like
what is it? I'm gonna fail this now, but it's kind of like just the man I wanted to see.
All right, okay,
not the cliche evil British man, but kind of like that,
kind of like Alan Rickman-y kind of.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
little Alan Rickman-y. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, no, I get that. I get that.
yeah. I had to pull up the line. Yeah, but I had a lot of fun writing him and had a lot of satisfaction with, no spoilers, but his fate. I had very much satisfaction with that.
It is nice to
Yeah.
kill bastards occasionally.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like as authors,
In a
you
book.
often spend more time. Yeah, but in a book, caveat there, you spend more time killing people who don't deserve it more than the fuckers who do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's nice to reward yourself occasionally
Mm.
by going, okay, this fucker deserves to go now.
Yeah. So who were some of your favorite characters, whether they be main or, small?
I quite enjoyed. Oh, sorry, no, you go.
Oh, no,
I chat enough. I chat enough.
I'm a sucker for a really well written female heroine. So Brianna was one of my favorite characters. Aside from Destin himself, like Brianna, in my opinion, she went through hell in a span of like a week, and then had to make a big decision. And in my opinion, she made the right decision, and then everything kind of, went from there. I really, and knowing what kind of happened in Ancora, it just made me like her even more. I really liked Destin's mum, even though she wasn't in it for that long, especially in the later parts of the book. Like she really felt like the traditional, loving mother that, the father's a bit of an asshole, but the mum's always there to pick up the pieces kind of thing. But yeah, and I couldn't really get to like some of the other guys in Destin's Revolution, just because of the whole traitor thing. I was constantly
thinking about who's
trying to work out who it was. So I never let myself get too attached to any of them. And I mean, the only one I knew it wasn't was Brianna, because she joined after that. And yeah, that was it. So yeah, honestly, my two favorite characters were Destin's mum and Brianna.
I mean, I always had a soft spot for Amy Cormac.
I did like writing him.
Yeah. No, I quite liked Harvey as the bunch of the main kind of original, how they make their group. I don't know if I don't want to ruin how they meet. I feel like he was probably the one of the sort of most fleshed out of the characters. Also, I can't remember his name. The young boy
who kept calling him Mr. Justin.
Yeah, in my mind, he was. Do you know the little robot from Futurama who's like, "Gee, Mr. Bender"? I just every time he spoke, I had that in my head. I had that in my head, like, very Dickensy kind of thing. But like, he was a good little I was like, oh, he's a little scamp. Go on, you're gonna get your ride on the back of the thing,
Yeah.
That was a nice little side character as well. But I like Harvey. In terms of like characters, I suppose like one of the sort of most interesting characters who you never actually get to meet is Zadok.
Oh.
Zadok,
yeah.
Zadok, yeah, like it's very much he's a character who's not there.
Here we go. Prequel to the prequel.
I was gonna say, is that? I mean, I don't know if he's.
It wouldn't be very interesting.
More in Ancora or not?
No reference to him at all.
No reference to him.
No.
But like it's very much of where does his rebellious nature come from? Where does everything that he sets up? Again, without wanting to go into spoilers, where does that all stem from? What did happen to him during those first foundational years of the soft invasion?
Don't give me ideas, mate.
Well, because that's the thing, like the first time he was referenced in my head, all I heard was the Zadok the priest. Sorry, I heard his name mentioned. It was Zadok the priest. So, okay, that's like another thing. But no, like it's just like that was kind of like the whole time. I was like, "What's his deal?" As well, like that's a badass. You have those flashbacks to Destin's childhood with his grandfather. I was like,
Yeah.
man, I wish my granddad was that cool.
Yeah. He was kind of like he wasn't in the original outline.
Right.
And I just thought even Ancora, everything is just really family based.
Mhm.
Family is important. So I'm thinking like he's got to come from somewhere. Something has to,
Yeah.
rules cool. What are you about, Neil? Favorite characters?
I liked Torkazal
You like
in the
the
way
villain?
that I liked the
Bastard.
fact that every time he was there, um, I felt like he'd sold me a bad car and was trying to sell me another. The way I read his dialogue, he came across as like a slimy salesman,
Mhm.
but with authority.
Yeah.
And I like a good villain.
Yeah.
And in the same way that when an actor is absolutely hated for a villain that they've played, and then people can't separate the two, that just goes to show that they're really good at what they do.
Yeah.
And the fact that there's a villain that I really enjoy the villain,
Mhm.
but again, we're not doing spoilers, but the
Not yet.
conclusion of that particular arc, yes. And I thought that Athena was quite interesting,
Mm-hmm. I liked her.
given her story and where she went. And I will be vague, so anyone that when you go and read I, Destin, you'll figure out where I'm going with this. Then there comes a point where now I'm not sure that I like them very much, but I'm not certain. And then right, okay, yeah, I have a complete different opinion now, and I don't want to. I can't finish.
It's hard
that
to talk about
spoiling.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there was a side character who was helping to build things, who was quite cool.
Amy Cormac.
Had a very good, had a good name. Had a good name.
Amy Cormac's assistant. All right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to bring up the cameos. I've got 2 pages to look at. Because there's so many.
I'm interested to see if I missed any. I thought I got them all.
All right, okay, so this is the first lot. Ryan, did you find Ryan?
I did. Of course. You know me. I'm an egotistical arsehole. The first thing I look for is me in the book. I literally will just search for me, and once I've found myself, then I can go and read the book from the start. No, it was good. It was good. I like how you incorporated my real life, musician passion and previous career into my character. So I very much enjoyed that.
Yeah, that's cool. And I'm wondering, Neil, were you okay with how I handled both you and your wife?
I actually screenshotted a couple of bits, and she was live streaming last night, and I was sending her screenshots of bits of dialogue. I liked the
Sup?
Oh,
yeah, that was awesome.
He calls her Becky, which is a nice little reference to the fact that when we were introduced, she was Becky, and then all through our relationship, that's been her name. And then there came a point where she decided, no, I'm going to be all professional. I'm going to tell everyone my name's Rebecca. And now most of the people in her life call her Rebecca, and I'm one of the few that doesn't. So I like the little reference, and I don't know if this was intentional or not, and don't want to go too spoilery unless we can. Here I am helping to build unusual looking weapons.
100% on purpose.
Not at all referencing my profession.
I'm that good, man. I'm that good. Sometimes. Because there was some people who went yes, like especially Amy Cormack was just yes. But then the rest of it was just kind of randomized as a character was needed. So I'm sorry, Matthew, but you were kind of randomized.
No, that's fair. I mean, my wife pointed out that, I mean, again, not to go into spoilers, but how things played out, that's not me. I'm a coward.
And I just had to make you say blimey, you know?
Well, again, I pointed that out as well. I had to point that out to my wife as well.
Yeah.
That tickled her.
Yeah. And I obviously put the two British people together. So Neil and Don were working side by side. Again, Martin Kearns was a butcher for some reason. I I needed a butcher. And I'm pretty sure he's not a butcher. You know?
No, he's a teacher.
But honestly, A.D. Cormack was so much fun to write. Like he said, I want to be like an alien or something, and I'm going like, how? It took me like half the book to try and figure out how this was going to work, and then it just like, bam, hybrid, yes, you know?
Bold.
And yeah, I got some killer one-liners.
Yeah.
I don't do maps.
Yeah.
I'll bring up a quote in a second, but we'll go to cameos number 2. We'll see if you got these, Ryan.
I got all the first page, clearly.
Now, Joshua Walker, he likes to brew beer in his downtime, so yes, he's a brewer, you know. Now, Jack Roney and Harry Culper have a podcast called the Genre Fiction Podcast, and I kind of needed 2 guys to rock up, and I went, oh, well, you know, Harry and Jack, woo! I didn't ask permission if I could do that, which is kind of dangerous because Jack's an ex-cop, so...
Better forgiveness, easy to get forgiveness than permission. That's
Now, this wasn't biased at all, but I made Damien like the priesty kind of character.
Yeah.
Because you know, because he's a fellow Christian man. I wasn't going to put myself in that position because that's like very egotistical. You know. Then Alison Betts, who's reading books about the universe and stuff because she's like meteorologist,
a scientist.
Yeah,
meteorologist.
Like so she's interested in that stuff. So that was easy. DeCray was someone on X who said, "Yeah, put me in your book." So he's like one line. He's one tiny little reference.
Yeah, I think he's the only one that I didn't know because I didn't think I've ever spoken to him. So,
but my favorite thing at all is one of the people that commented on X was like this Carter, a girl called Carter, and then I put her in there because I thought she was real, and then like I think like maybe like a few days later, I get this message and it's like, I'm going to tell you all about the stock market. Do you want to get it? She was a scammer. So then, and I'm not going to, I'm going to downright spoil it. I killed her. You know? And then they're like, oh, she was trying to scam us. You know? So that was a subtle little, you know.
Bloody relentless, aren't they?
Yeah. I've never heard from her again. So she probably won't sue me.
Because you killed her.
But that was some of the fun. Now I'll bring up the A.D. Cormack. This is my favorite A.D. Cormack quote. And it
Will
also
he be joining us? I know you said he sent you a message.
Yeah, I sent him. No, he said he forgot to tell me you can't make it.
Fair enough.
Haven't heard anything from Don yet either, so that's all right. Okay, so this is the A.D. and it features Don and Neil. Don and Neil came to visit, bringing with them what A.D. Cormack had left in the drawer of his workshop bench. A note attached to a new set of blueprints and a hand-drawn map. The note read... Do you want to read it, Matthew? Read it out for us.
Sure. In case of my timely death, build and use this at your own risk. You know how I feel about maps, but this time I found it necessary. AC.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. I think that was the second map reference.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was when he was introduced. Oh, not introduced, but when he woke up.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
Said, sorry, I don't do maps.
Which I like the second reference because it kind of comes full circle with how in real life he's begrudgingly included a map into his book. It really fits.
Yeah, it fits perfectly. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I honestly, he was probably one of the funnest characters to write. And I don't think it would have been that fun if it wasn't Amy Cormac, you know?
If you didn't have the real
Yeah.
life inspiration there
Yeah.
to kind of draw from.
Yeah. There would have been no toasters, there would have been no map references. There probably would have been a map, but um
Oh, so there was a toaster reference, wasn't there? Yes. Is that
yes.
what
Yes.
that's what that's from? That's an Amy
Yeah.
thing, right?
Because when Amy was on the Ancora book launch episode, he just asked, he said he was only halfway through reading the book, so he didn't know how it ends, so he asked ChatGPT to write the
Finish
ending.
that, right?
And then
Okay.
suddenly there was like, toaster gods and this weird stuff. So I was like, got to put a toaster reference in there.
Right, fair enough. Okay, that explains that. See
So
this?
they're walking
So much.
through the town, and then that town that they go to where all that stuff goes down, explosions and Michael Bay stuff. That's Bathurst for those playing at home.
Oh.
Ah,
Yeah,
right.
because I basically just like I literally just I think the reason why everything feels so close and easy to understand is because I literally just Google Earthed everything. So I mapped out the exact distance from the mountains to the bridge.
Okay.
Like that bridge, Ryan, is North Richmond.
I thought so, yeah.
And I
See,
picked
I
out
thought that town that you said was Bathurst. I thought that was actually North Richmond.
no, like that was yeah. So spoiler alert, they cross the mountains and they go way out west, and that's Bathurst. The riverside town's North Richmond, and I actually picked out a house to be Destin's house. So
Oh, wow.
Nice.
so you can,
Bathurst, or as I referred to it the first time my first year in the country, and I was working in a tavern, and the race was coming on TV, and I made myself look a fool by referring to it as Bathurst.
That's right. It's not as bad as when Americans call Melbourne.
Melbourne, yeah.
Melbourne. Or Brisbane. Brisbane.
Big
And
Bane.
to my to the date, one of my favorite jokes that Arj Barker has ever made is like, I was down in Melbourne and they were like going, "What's going on, Arj? You're pronouncing Melbourne right. You're pronouncing Melbourne right." And he's just like, "Calm down. This isn't my first trip to Victoria."
Fucking hell.
I was just like, "Oh, it's so gold. I love that joke. I love that joke."
Terrible.
What
Terrible.
else? Now, do you want to play a game of let's cast these characters if it was a movie? Because
Give it
I actually did make a cast. Only the key players. So I just
Well,
want to.
clearly we'll be playing ourselves in the movie, so
Yeah, well,
there's
I'm
no
not.
point in doing us.
Yeah,
No, I need to
no,
be played by someone much fitter.
no. So it's just the key players, the rebels, essentially.
See, I'm terrible, so I don't really watch a
You're-
lot of films. I
you're
don't know many
already
actors.
you're already gonna know my answer for Destin, Jamie.
Is that you? Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna play. I'm not that egotistical.
No.
I'd be playing myself.
Yeah.
Who is my favorite male actor
Oh,
of
Henry
all
Cavill.
time? Yes.
Henry Cavill. See, I
Yes,
didn't.
I think he'd be a great Destin.
That that's not who I chose first though.
Okay.
Mind you, these characters are supposed to be Destin's supposed to be quite young, so it would be a young Henry Cavill. But I think Destin now looking at it now would be a better Harvey.
Okay.
Henry Cavill would be a better Harvey, but not the guy that I chose. Not because I actually chose actual actors that I would love to play these roles as I
Okay.
was writing it.
Yeah, in the way that I read it. I read it as like a late 20s, early 30s Henry Cavill for Destin.
Yeah, because he served some decent time in the military
He
before,
served
so
he
he
served
wouldn't be
6
too
years.
young. 6 years, so yeah, like late 20s, mid to late 20s. Terrible, famous people.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't watch many films.
You can skip it and I can show you exactly who I had in mind.
Yeah, do that.
Do that. All right. Some of them you'll know, like, and again, when I had these in mind, I had like probably a little younger.
Hmm.
But these are the people that I had in mind.
Okay.
So a young Chris Hemsworth would be Destin.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
I only know three of those people.
Ooh, which three?
Two of the British ones and the Hemsworth. I mean, the others might be British. I don't know. I
No,
know
No,
Idris
no.
Elba and Jenna Coleman and
Yeah,
the Hemsworth. I don't know any of the other people.
there's only two Brits.
I really really like it. I don't know if you did it on purpose, but you know how much I love Law and Order, and you put my favorite actor
Yes.
from Law and Order SVU in as Lee, Christopher Maloney. So
Yep.
well done for that.
Yep.
And you have put my favorite character from The Boys as
Yep.
Benny, Jack
Yep.
Quaid. I don't know who Riley Davis is. What's she from?
She was from the new MacGyver.
Oh, okay, I didn't watch that.
There was a new MacGyver.
Yeah, it was decent for about 3 or 4 seasons, and then it just went crap.
Yeah, because she's the only one. Like I know Paul Walter Hauser from Cobra Kai.
Yep.
Obviously I know Idris Elba and Chris
Yep.
Hemsworth. But yeah, that I can see that. I can definitely
That
see
was
that.
that's kind of what I had in mind when I started writing it, because I like to see what I'm writing, who I'm writing.
Is Jack Quaid a relation to Dennis?
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
he
his
is.
son.
He is. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. There you go. Oh, I know his dad.
Yeah, it's Jack. Sorry, Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan's son.
I didn't know that they were a couple. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
It happened. Well, maybe they're not.
Well, yeah. Well, at some
it's
point.
Hollywood. Yeah.
Yeah. Who knows?
But that's kind of what I had in mind.
Jenna Coleman, I can definitely see.
Yeah.
Like knowing what she's got, actually like a surprisingly good range.
Yeah.
She can do the deep emotional stuff.
Yeah, because man,
from again? What was Jenna Coleman from again?
She was in Doctor Who.
She's from a lot. But I think
Queen Victoria in something as well.
I'm literally in the process of Googling to try and find out.
Was she in the Sandman?
Yes.
I haven't seen
on
it.
Netflix?
Oh, I didn't watch that.
Yeah, we did. We watched it together at Chris's house.
No, we watched like 2 episodes, but I just couldn't get into it.
Yeah, but she was there. She was there.
I don't like the Sandman comics, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Even though it's Neil Gaiman, and I normally love everything Neil Gaiman does, it's just too like dream. I don't like dream-based stuff, and it's just heavy on the dream stuff.
Yeah, I'll look up Jenna Coleman.
Yeah, Doctor Who and Queen Victoria, I think, are the main things I've seen her in. There's something else I know that I'm forgetting that she was a big main character of.
Victoria, she was in Sandman. Captain America, the first Avenger.
Who was she?
Connie.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember.
Dude, it was she was probably a very young girl.
Yeah.
It was like 2011. What else was she in?
Lots of Doctor Who, which is probably why I don't know who she is.
She was one of the main companions for a few years during kind of Matt Smith's and then Peter Capaldi's tenure.
Okay.
Yeah. No, she's got a good range. Most actors that come from
Britain,
Doctor Who, and Britain are pretty strong.
Just to throw that in there, you know.
Well, it's the British and the Australian that can go to America and do a better accent than the Americans.
Yeah.
Black Hawk Down.
Let's not do the Australians going to do the British accents, though. We all know Mel Gibson and bloody Russell Crowe with his bloody Robin Hood.
Yeah, but he didn't really do an accent though. Like Russell Crowe.
He did an amalgamation of like 5 or 6 different ones.
Yeah.
Although, like, I quite enjoyed that. I didn't hate that film as much as most people kind of did. The only thing I didn't like about that film is, like, for those who have seen it, there's a big battle scene at the end, and they mention specifically that it's happening in a place called Dungeness, which is not too far away from where I grew up. And in the film, they've got these great big cliffs behind them, which I'm assuming they're just like meaning to look like Dover, White Cliffs of Dover. But Dungeness is actually this complete like void of gravel. Whereas like it's a complete flat void of gravel. There's like a nuclear power station there now. But yeah, no great big fucking cliffs behind you. So I was watching it just going, well, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm a
it's
pedantic sod like that, but
it's hard when it's when you know history.
yeah.
It's
Oh,
like
my wife hates me for that. I
like
can't watch anything historical, and
I loved Hacksaw Ridge. I only watched it because it was filmed in my town, pretty much. But
right, okay.
but that the ridge in reality wasn't that big, and it was only
Like a hill.
yeah, yeah, pretty much. It was like one corner of the battlefield, and it was just like only this tiny little thing. And they're like, "No, it's epic." But then the thing that annoyed me more is he's towards the end. Spoiler alert for a true story. In the movie, he kicks his grenade out of the way and it goes off. In reality, he stood on it. You know.
Right.
So in the movie, he kicks the grenade, he gets blown, and then he gets taken off the battlefield. In reality, he stood on the grenade, it went off, and then he proceeded to spend 45 minutes going around the battlefield, patching people
Stood
up, still saving people.
stood on it accidentally or stood on it
No,
to
on
like
purpose.
cover. Right. See, that's more epic.
Yeah.
Why
And
would you
then
not keep that bit in?
I know. I'm just like,
Because when he kicks it in the movie, they do slow-mo.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah, yeah. And then he gets taken
I
away.
love that movie.
Yeah, it is a good
And I
movie.
didn't realize just how much of the cast is actually just Australians.
Yeah, well, it was filmed here, and I got to see someone I went to school with get shot, and it was fantastic. Yeah.
must be a common occurrence in America. No, is that too
No,
dark?
no,
No, they're not going. They're
no,
not going there.
no, no. It was just funny because it was this guy who was he was probably I think he was the grade above me. I think I was in year 8 and he was in year 9 or something. And he got to be in this Nutella ad when he was young, and he was just like so up himself about it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
it kind of stuck with me. 'Cause I think it was just him being excited, but to me and everyone, it just came off a little smug. Like
Yeah.
you're in an ad, and just like look at me. But I'm like, in hindsight, I think it's just like he was just really excited that it was in an ad. And fair enough. But so I kind of kept that feeling of you're so smug when I know he's probably just a nice guy
Yeah.
with me. And then so when I went and saw the movie and I saw him and he said 2 lines and gets shot, I'm just like, yeah.
Watches it, like buys it again in like
Yeah.
DVD, watches it back
Yeah,
in slow
yeah,
mo.
yeah. No, but when in reality, I'm just watching my town be transformed into the 1940s, which is really cool.
Had something similar. If anyone's seen, it's an older film now, Empire of the Sun, with a
Yeah.
very young
think
Christian
so.
Bale. When they go at the very beginning, when they go to his house and it's taken over with the Japanese, that street and that house are in my hometown. And I remember them
Okay.
filming it and having to
Hmm.
turn this entire street into like like World War II era
Yeah.
Shanghai.
Yeah,
That's interesting. Like why?
Just ran
Why-
it's and they've done it in Manchester. I think part of Manchester where I live now, in the city centre, was turned into 1930s, 1940s Brooklyn for Captain America.
Okay, because like when my home, I mean, we're all deviating to home fucking town places now. My home, my hometown's been used a lot for like period stuff because it's kind of like the center of my hometown is kind of like cobbled medieval streets and stuff. But like I'm from the council estate on the outskirts. Of
Yeah.
town. But like do you remember the film like The Monuments Men?
yes,
That was filmed a lot there. They're currently filming like a I think it's a Pride and Prejudice remake or something like that. They're doing a filming there.
another one.
They keep rehashing the same. They do like quite a lot of period pieces
Yeah.
there because there's quite a lot of those Tudor kind of timber
Yeah.
frame buildings and all that. But like it's annoying because like I mean, we're just going to deviate into this. My whole generation
Yeah,
of people from my hometown can't afford to live there now because you get quite a lot of people from like London buying like second holiday homes there
Yeah.
because they see these kind of like old timber frame. Oh, right, it's a lovely place, and they buy
Yeah.
like second homes there. And like everyone else is like, yeah, it's actually like a full of like council estates and
Yeah.
stuff like that. It's only if you're in the very middle kind of medieval bit, it's
Yeah.
it's a nice town, but the rest of it's no.
Yeah.
So
Well,
you
they-
say, sorry, Neil, you say you're in the Manchester.
Yeah,
What part?
South Manchester.
I lived in Manchester for about about a year, probably about 15 years ago. I lived in Burnage for a while.
Bernager.
Yeah, I worked in the
Ooh.
Gateway pub there outside like a Weatherspoons for a while, but yeah, fond memories of being very, very poor there.
That's right.
I'm from Knutsford originally, which
Right.
is northwest of England.
Yeah.
And if anyone's seen the
Because the accent
uh,
isn't Mancunian.
no, I don't
Just
have really a specific accent. It's unusual.
picked up from.
All over. But Knutsford is the series Cranford. If anyone's into the historical stuff, that's there. The author lived there.
Google that.
And again, the center of my hometown. Every time I go through it now, it's more and more being redeveloped with glass and metal.
Yeah.
Which is what Manchester just looks like generic European city number 42 at this point. All the historical looking stuff's going.
The curry mile's great though.
Yes, I could name a particular place where the kebabs are absolutely divine. Which I don't know if that's against the religion or not, but so my hometown again, it's used in a bunch of filming for period pieces, and it looks very nice. And then you travel 3 minutes in a direction, and it's council estate.
Yeah.
They keep the center nice for the tourists, for people to come into, and then all the people that have to live there to maintain it.
Yeah.
Away.
Yeah, that's what my problem is. Like, I went back to England last December for the first time in 7 years, and it's very weird. Like, my dad was saying that basically you got the old, like, 900-year-old church in the center of town and all these timber frame buildings that are very old all around it. And my dad said, like, no one owns them anymore, like, to live there. They're all Airbnbs. He said you get all these tourists who come during summer, and the town's lively in the center, but then after sort of like September, town's dead. All the pubs kind of have to shut early. You got no trade going through. And like, because you've got all this trade, and then you've got all these. I mean, this has got nothing to do with your book, but then all these people that have got like from London, they've got second homes there who again come over during like the summer months and blah 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 blah. So like, it's pushed all the prices up. So like a pint of beer, like it's like £5-6 now, which is great for to catch the people who are coming down for their holidays for that, but the local people can't afford that because there's no industry there. The only industry that's there is tourism, which is only for about 5 months of the year. So that's fun.
Welcome to the British podcast.
We like to take over things.
We're just doing what we do.
Well, I mean, aren't we all British? Because even Australians, we came from you guys. We were the guys that you put in your jail, sent over here.
You're also the people that maintained the jails.
Yeah.
Ironically.
I will not comment on that. All I'll say is you're lucky that you don't have much in the way of spices.
Wouldn't want your food getting too exotic now, would we?
Yeah. All right. Let's talk spoilers. Do not proceed.
Let's try. We're also going to try, and we can talk spoilers for Destin, but let's try and avoid the referencing stuff in Ancora.
Yeah.
Well, for those who have not yet gone there.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can try.
Try. Might succeed.
Well, have at it. Questions, thoughts?
Look, I think the book could have used a little bit more Ryan, the musician, in it. Personally, I just want to know what was your inspiration, and what was your reasoning for not making like the last two parts about him and him alone.
Oh, right. Just be grateful you're alive. You survived.
Yeah. Some of us aren't that lucky, Ryan.
Yeah, no, talk about that's one thing I said to Jamie after I finished reading it. I was like, you really went red wedding on that last couple of chapters, didn't you? Like, I feel privileged to have survived because not everyone did.
Yeah,
a lot of people didn't.
Like I said, it was loosely based on Ned Kelly. So did everyone survive that?
No.
Just be grateful Destin survived. No, Destin had to survive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ned Stark didn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like the whole traitor
Yep.
arc
Yeah.
was very much being kept on your toes. I had a feeling it was one of the girls. I was actually leaning more to Brianna. Was it Brianna?
Wow.
Yeah.
Brianna.
Yeah, I don't know. I was kind of like, yeah, they kept like the way it was being highlighted, the fact that she went through such a traumatic experience
Yep.
that it couldn't be her. I was like, couldn't it? Like, oh, maybe it's like a red herring kind of thing there. And I was just like, oh, but she would be such a bitch if she did though. But I was like, but
I think the reason why I didn't suspect her and why I said I knew it wasn't her was because of events that happened in Ancora. Is kind
which
of
I'm
why
ignorant
I
to.
did. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So I get where you're coming from, but in my perspective, I didn't like Athena from day dot. I was like, as soon as even from like when she first joined, like the band of Destin Rebellion, something about her. I hate to say it, her and Benny, I just thought were, I just didn't like at all. And
sorry.
And then when she got captured, I'm like, yep, okay, this is clearly she is a traitor. She got away way too easily. And I'm like, 100% she's a traitor. And
well, that's why I thought it was. That's why I thought it was Brianna. Sorry, is it Brianna or Brianna? Sorry, Brianna. Because I was like, she got away pretty easily, and I was just like, is that a red herring? Is it kind of like? And I like the way that it kind of kept you on the toes, kind of going, which one is it? Is it her? And then I was like also going, Benny, was it Benny? Who was the ex-senator? Yeah, I was just like, politician.
Yeah, exactly.
It's gotta be him.
It's
gotta be that dude.
That's the reason why I suspected him. From day dot.
That was intentional.
He's a politician.
Yeah,
intentional.
They can't lie straight in bed. You know, I was like, Benny. It's either Benny, but then when Athena escaped, I'm like, I knew it. And then that was just a complete red herring altogether. So,
and that's why I liked
that. Was kind of like a. Yeah, that was kind of like a gut punch when, you know, when she unfortunately passed away by getting shot. I was like, wow.
Yeah. I was like, a part of me was kind of like, oh, so it was her, bitch. Oh no.
Yeah. And but spoiler alert, if you know Ned Kelly, that's kind of what happened. No love triangle though. The cops made them think that their friend was a traitor, but he wasn't. But they had to shoot him for the plan to work or whatever. So I really like that idea of being forced to shoot someone that you don't want to shoot, and then find out that
that would have, like, I don't understand how Destin just, like, I know he was upset about it, but like it turns out that, you know, my misgivings in Athena was just her being jealous of Brianna because clearly she was after Destin from day dot. And, you know, especially when they bonded over the Destin teaching Athena how to shoot, you know, in the early days. And then she became so good at it that she was just, you know, amazing. But that I was like,
that was a good twist.
I was it made me feel bad that I suspected her all along once. Because I did the same as what Matthew did. I was like, I knew it. And then, like, the next chapter, I'm like,
that's.
I feel bad now,
Especially, you know, the fact that Destin did it himself. I was like, man, that was fucked.
Yep.
Like, I think in the Ancora episode, my quote was, "You put that girl through a lot," and I'm like, "You put Destin through even more shit."
Well, I didn't want him to be a flawed character, you know.
No,
sorry. I wanted him to be a flawed character.
Yeah, I get it, and that to me would have. I mean, me personally, that would have completely wrecked me to the point where I would be like, I'm done with all of it. I'm going to live in Zadok's bunker for the rest of my life. That's it.
And I think that action alone, that scene, that sort of event really kind of defined Destin as a character, because, like, without that, like you say, he would have possibly had that kind of Messiah. One of the things, like, I love like Brandon Sanderson's like writing, and I like
Mhm.
the oh God, I'm terrible memory. Stormlight, Stormlight, Saga, no, Stormlight, oh, whatever it's called. I'm terrible with fucking names. Anyway, but the one thing I don't like about that is the main character from that series really has a Messiah complex.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
whole way through, he's very, very much got that, and it's relentless. And very much when that happens in I, Destin, that very much kind of snatches Destin away from slipping into that
Yeah.
trope or whatever it is, and
Yeah.
gives him that extra layer of, because he's got a lot of weight on his shoulders. Obviously,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
from his grandfather, the knowledge of what he knows from what's being happening, the responsibility of training and being the kind of not top dog, but
Yeah.
the one holding the rebellion together. So he's already got all these kind of things kind of tying him together and pressuring him and all that kind of thing. And then that happens,
Mm.
and that just kind of really just it doesn't define him, but it really kind of like it takes him to that next level of a character, like, in terms of the emotional baggage that he wears and has to endure.
Yeah.
And that was very well done. That whole scene was very well done, because I wasn't expecting it. I was expecting someone else, and then when it happens, you're like, or when it's leading up to it happening, you're like, ah, yeah, of course it was her. And then boom, no,
Yeah.
and you feel like a dick. And it was very expertly done, and it really kind of lifted the story to that next level. And like I said, I don't know whether, like, for those, like, you say you kind of knew it wasn't Brianna because things happened in the Ancora,
Yeah.
but
Mhm.
not knowing that happens really just caught me off guard by quite a considerable sort of.
Yeah. Well, that was in my head.
Well,
I was
I
writing towards that
yeah.
scene for so long. Like, that's probably what I spent the most time on.
Yeah,
Just that twist.
it's a
Well, the
fucking
fact that you spend the whole story alluding to the traitor, there's a traitor, and the fact that every time that they did something, or most of the time that they did something, Talkers already knew about it. So that was just reinforcing the fact that there was a traitor, because he was always, the whole scene in where they went and got caught, where they went into that, was it a movie theater or something? They went into in that town where the scammer was.
The data vault.
Where they.
yes.
Yeah, that's right. And they were waiting for him, and I was like, okay, that kind of reinforces that there is a traitor. And then just the amount of times that I just got thinking this can't be a coincidence. They have to have some sort of inside knowledge. And then the fact being that they were just lucky that they, and that was another thing that I really liked about it. Like, a lot of you didn't make them win every time. You know what I mean? Like, there was times where missions failed and they had to work things out on the fly, like that mission into town where they were like, they'd done a few data vaults before and they're like, yeah, we can do this, like, we've done this before, we can be in and out, no problems. And then bang, there were wardens, and then there was Torcadell, and that was something they weren't planning on. And I think that it made them not get too complacent and make things seem like they were playing on easy mode.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's good to have that, because like, these guys aren't, like, aside from Destin, these guys aren't military personnel. You know what I mean? Like, they're just, like you say, well, I think one of them was a used car salesman.
Yeah.
One of them was a politician.
Yeah.
They all come from normal jobs, and even with Destin training them for 6 months, they're still not, these aliens, they've been in the army for years and years and years. It's good that you didn't make them win every single mission, because to me that would take away from, they wouldn't be learning anything,
Because the raid on the it's not so much a farm, but where they got I can't remember their names,
The
but basically the
Zakips.
horses.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a good scene because it was their first kind of
Yeah,
big
Yeah.
raid, and it did go tits up
Yeah.
yeah,
quite quickly, but they did still get away and get what they
Yeah.
needed. But it was a close run thing, and
Yeah.
that was kind of like a good
yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
not a waymark of going, okay, we still got work to
To
do,
do.
but
Yeah.
this is gonna and that again was very well done.
The little twist
Yeah,
of the
no,
knife
100%.
on
I agree.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Neil.
another twist of the knife on the Athena thing was
Hmm.
she's the one that convinced Destin that there is no traitor.
Mm.
It's talk yourself
Uh,
getting into your
Hmm.
head. And then when Destin thinks, oh, she is the traitor, she's the one that convinced me there wasn't. She fooled me.
Yeah.
No, mate, she was right all along. He got into your
Yeah.
head.
Mm.
And you went for it. Hook,
Yeah.
line, sinker, and copy of Angling Times.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that just made me suspect her
That's a
even
reference.
more.
Yeah.
You know, that just made me suspect her even more because, yeah, of course she's the one who's trying to tell him that it's all in his head because she is the traitor. And yeah, that's how I was thinking the whole time. And yeah, and then she was right in the end. Now, I do have a question about Caucazel, and I apologize if you cleared this up in the book, but I just couldn't find it anywhere. Was he actually an alien, or was he a human that was working with the aliens?
No, he's an alien, but
Okay,
there's a hierarchy of aliens. So the
okay,
because I actually researched a lot of ufology. So
okay.
the top ones are the ones I'd call the Chris Hemsworth aliens. They're like the um Nordic. So there's
Yeah.
like Nordic aliens, and they're all extremely attractive and tall, and they're
The
basically
Aryan race to
yeah,
go to a
yeah.
1940s.
Yeah, well, essentially that, like, because there's Nordic aliens and then there's the Greys, but I didn't want to do tiny little grey aliens, so I made them more tall. So they're the Zelfolk. They're the more scientist ones, and then it goes down to like
Hmm.
the lizard. There's like three levels of lizard, two or three levels of lizard, and then the avians are the dumb Sarevs that work private security. You know?
So as another question, as someone who hasn't read Ancora,
Mm.
I can't remember his name, but I am terrible. The chap who is responsible for burning down Brianna's village.
Yeah, he's a main villain in
He's the main villain in
Locke.
Ancora.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I was wondering that because he kind of that happens and he gets referenced a few later, but then he doesn't get a come up and later on. So I'm like, okay, is he something that I
Yeah.
am not fully abreast of?
And
Okay.
the other one is the when they go and when they get Amy's map and they got to go into the mountains and get that pure. Not now, I'm forgetting the name
Mhm.
Oh,
of it.
the metal,
Yeah,
the elements.
the pure one. That's alluding to another villain in
Mhm.
Ancora.
Okay, because yeah, that's actually something because Amy says something about this is
Yeah,
you
because
use it at your peril kind
yeah,
of thing,
yeah,
and then that doesn't really that all
yeah,
comes into effect in Ancora.
yeah,
Is that
and
okay?
that's a
Yeah.
huge thing because then Brianna starts having nightmares. That's linked to that, and
Right.
yeah,
I'm going to have to read Ancora.
yeah.
Damn
And
it. You got me.
Yeah.
It'll
Well,
it'll
that kind of ties into because I had a question with Jamie. I messaged him when I read it. The obviously we know in Ancora there's a flashback from what happened in Brianna Town.
yeah,
So the main character in Ancora, you know, had to flashback for 3 or 4 chapters to what happened in Brianna Town in
yeah,
Destin. But in Ancora, it was different. There was a significant differences in
mm,
what happened in Destin to what happened in her flashback in Ancora. And I messaged Jamie and I was like, I'm pretty sure this is not you just forgetting the last book you wrote.
yeah,
But was that, and then he explained it a bit more. So if when you do read Ancora and it's not exactly the same,
yeah. But
there is a reason for that. And I think,
the characters
yeah.
explain it. The characters explain it.
And I'm confused because there's like a 200-year difference or whatever it is.
Yeah,
It
but
must be like a
there's a very
Yeah.
specific reason why it's different because it's not too spoilery, but
Mhm.
it's like the main character of Ancora is walking through that and witnessing everything in like a dream sequence
right.
kind of thing, but things are a bit and it explains it. It explains it.
Memories just don't work like that. You get you
Yeah.
speak to a dozen people who survived the same experience,
Yeah.
and you'll hear a dozen completely
Yeah.
different stories
Yeah.
of what took place.
Yeah. But it's all explained. It's like she's walking through a dream, but it's not her dream,
Right.
essentially.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
very, very specific to the lore of Ancora.
Yeah. Something I did like completely sort of, it's not spoilery, but something I did actually appreciate was like you mentioned earlier about how Damien played the priest.
Yep.
Obviously, I know your faith is quite important to you, and you say Damien's his faith is quite important to him. I did appreciate how you addressed what would happen to Christianity and I'd imagine other world religions if an alien being did just descend upon Earth. And it was like, okay, we've kind of lost our basis on how things. I did actually quite appreciate that. That was very well done, even if it was just not a throwaway line, but it was a small nugget of thing. And like, as someone who is a Christian, that was quite. That's what it was good of you, not good of you to do, but it was kind of like you'd imagine other people of your faith might kind of try and dismiss that as something that could happen in that kind of circumstances.
Like I've said, like going into this whole series, I wanted to look at it from a Christian perspective. So it's actually I'm tying things into it, and things are dropping hints, there's going to be a massive
Zadok
twist.
okay,
a massive twist. It's heading somewhere. As a series, it is heading somewhere. So I'm planting things. I'm putting ideas there. Because I've thoroughly thought about this whole thing. So it's going to go somewhere that I really.
That's another thing. Like what going back to what Matthew was saying is, I'm an atheist. I'm not religious at all. But I said that, like, when I was telling Steph about my wife, who's a Catholic, who's been Catholic, like, she's Irish, so it's like it's given. You're Catholic.
The religion is either the Catholicism or the potatoes. It's
exactly. So I was telling her about that, and she's like, "Well, how did he address the whole, alien thing with?" Because I told him about, everything. And I said, it's done really well, because that was one thing that I did pick up on. I was like, well, I know that kind of defeats the whole purpose of the essential makeup of the Christian faith if aliens are real. And the way that you did explain that away, very simply too, like someone who's not religious at all, like me, can understand. And that it just made perfect sense to me. So I think that was very well done. And that was one of, because I know when we did Ancora, you said there was religious sort of subtext there, and I couldn't even tell because I didn't know about. I had to ask you, but that was one thing that I did see, and I'm like, okay, that was very well handled.
Well, because that was my thing. Is like, again, like I would say I'm more on the side of agnostic than atheist, but because I'm very much I'm very interested in history. I'm very much interested in church history, because church history ties up into most Western civilization. So like it's very interesting to pick up on those kind of different little things, and like nuggets that you've pepper dashed in there. And obviously, like, knowing that your faith is very important to you, it's interesting, like, seeing that come out in the book. And I'd say that's why that kind of nugget was an interesting pickup. Obviously, not everyone who knows you would pick up on that, but it was very well done. The whole kind of
100%.
Yeah, but because I wanted to make it feel like history. I wanted this book to feel like history, so that's obviously going to be a part of it. And, I'm going to put things in there that I think about, but I'm not going to make it, like I said when we recorded today, Ryan, I don't like to preach. I don't want my books to be preachy or anything like that. I just want to make people have a fun time and think, Yeah,
100%. And like I said, it's, it's all about getting a reaction from someone, in terms of, there were things in Ancora that I'm sure, that a lot of Christian people probably got a reaction from, where like, oh, wow, yes, I recognize that. Whereas someone like me didn't recognize that at all. I just got a completely different reaction from the book myself. It's all about getting that reaction. And it's amazing how you might read a book and I might read the same book, and we will get a completely different reaction from the same book because of different things. And I think that's one really good thing about storytelling, that everyone can take away something different from the story.
Cool. So any other questions, guys?
Who was that dude at the end of the book? That when Destin and Brianna are, I think I know who it is. I think I asked you, and I think you told me, but I'll just check.
Is this an Ancora spoiler? Because I can take my headphones out.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. You tell him. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up when you're ready.
He's a character from Ancora.
Yeah. Okay. I know who it is.
Yeah.
I know who it is. Yeah.
It's not spoiler. He's a character from. Look, if there's no random characters in iDestin, there's no random characters in Ancora. They all have purpose and they all have meaning. So, random guy was you know who he is, right?
Okay. Matthew's like, I need to read this book right now.
You'll probably get it in 2 nights, Matthew, because it's like 47,000 words, Ancora.
Yeah.
So like Ancora is not as
small.
Okay.
Well, yeah. I thought iDestin was going to be like a novella or something, but
I don't have it here, but I could show. It's not like this is the Wedding Night trilogy. It's smaller than that. I have it. I think it's in a cupboard or something like that. I got it.
That's the hard.
Oh, okay. Yep. Okay.
It's tiny.
Okay.
It's 47,000 words. But yeah, because iDestin was just so big, it was too much in it to not make it like I think it's like 76,000 words. There's way too much to put it in, and even for me, because I like writing short books. I don't like dilly dallying around. So
no, I get that.
Yeah.
With what I'm doing right now, I'm fully appreciating the short and punchy side of things.
Yeah, cool.
But in saying that, Ancora still feels massively fleshed out too.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like you're missing anything, especially if you read iDestin. You're going into it with more information than what Neil and I went into it with. But even reading Ancora first, I didn't feel like it was missing anything. It felt like a part 1 of a trilogy or part 1 of a new series. Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, part 2 is coming after I finish the Blood and Faith. Yeah. I'm excited to get back to it because I may even just write 1 and then do the split. Because it's mapped out in my head. I can't wait to go back to it. And then maybe Ryan, I'll do the prequel. I'll do the sequel to the prequel, and then Matthew, I may do the prequel to the prequel.
Prequel to the prequel, and then are you going to then go to different parts of the world to see how different things are taking?
Yeah. Well, I always said it's based on the Great Dividing Range, is the mountains that's referenced. So it goes from all the way from South Australia to top of Queensland. So a lot can be happening there.
There's a lot of play to
and also in Ancora you find out why the mountains are the way they are.
Yes, of course, that's
a big thing.
Yes. Okay, that doesn't. I was wondering if that was tied up to the stone, because when they said, like, when Amy says that's use that at your peril, I was wondering if when they took that, if that was going to then cause the mountain to lose its protection.
Yeah.
But then I was just like, if that's the case, that warning was not fucking severe enough. I was like, you need to give a bit more kind of like, no.
Yeah.
This will lose all your defenses. I was like, can that be it?
Because cool.
You think you'll do the sequel to the prequel?
Look, I don't want to say yes now, but probably the way Ryan's looking at me.
You want a commitment right now.
I want to finish book 2 and 3 before I make that decision, because there were times I was writing iDestin and I was like, wow, crap, there's stuff in concrete. It's like, I want to do this, but I can't because it's law.
But there's something that happens at the very end of Ancora that can be explained, and I thought was going to be explained in iDestin, but where you finished it, it's still quite a ways off. So I'm like, I want to
Answers.
know what that is and what that looks like and everything like that. So yeah, that pretty much the last chapter of Ancora. And you'll know it when you read it, Matthew. I want to know what happens in between Destin and how they get that.
So basically, you're a massive tease.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or I'm too lazy to answer questions.
Either or.
And you know that I need everything.
I need closure, goddammit.
Yeah. Don't, like, my favorite TV show of all time is The Sopranos, and I freaking hate watching that last episode because they don't show you what happened. They just fade to black, and I'm like, come on. But I thought Jamie knew me better than that. I mean, it's like I think he should be writing the book just for me.
Yeah. Just be glad you're in it.
Look, if you write it and if you write the sequel to the prequel and don't want to publish it, just give it to me, and that will keep me happy.
Can I write bullet points and just go, this is what happens?
No, I need detail. I want another 100,000 words.
I've literally got bullet points set out for my stuff for if something that happens, if I ever like just drop dead, my wife can
email Brandon Sanderson.
Basically finish it off. Either like finish it off or just go like, Matthew dropped dead. This is how his series would end, just for anyone who needs to have closure.
Yeah. The problem is whenever I write down notes like and dots and outlines for what I do, I change it. Like
exactly. And I know him too well.
I did a full outline for Destin, and then I got 12 chapters in, and I kept pushing everything back, and then I accidentally deleted it, and I went, oh well. Yeah.
Oops.
And it's like I accidentally deleted it, and then I saved it. And I was like, oh well, it's gone, and I wasn't bummed at all.
No.
It's just like I knew where it was going to end.
So I had the opposite where.
But you always you always planned it. You always planned to end it there.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, you bastard.
Bastard. Yeah. I planned to kill every one of those bastards.
No, it wasn't that. It was just that the spot you picked to end it at. I was like, there was so much more that happens.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to know. I was expecting to find out all about that, and you kind of just I was like, maybe he hasn't sent me the full copy yet because I got it so early. I was like, is that where it ends? And you're like, yep. And I'm like, oh,
so,
wow.
I mean, again, I don't want to spoil it for myself because I'm going to definitely read it at some point. Is Ancora the main character or the characters that are in that, are they related to, like, obviously at the end of
that is a spoiler.
Destin? That is a spoiler. Okay, then don't tell me.
But
I'll leave it. Okay.
But it's an obvious one. Like Ryan's like,
it is.
Because this is like a
100%.
It's 200 years. Yeah,
200 years difference.
I knew pretty much maybe 5 chapters in. I'm like, okay, like, because I knew that before I even read about Destin, that Destin was a character, and you know, because you do, because I'm not going to say anything, but I knew straight away. I knew within 5 chapters. I'm like, I know that there's a family history here.
Yeah,
and,
because this main character in Ancora is following the footsteps of Destin.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like, trying to find out what happened to him.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And mystery.
Yeah.
But there's also a twist in that.
But there's a massive twist because I did not see that coming. Because I messaged Jamie, and because he was worried about, he was like, "Was it too obvious?"
I thought it was too obvious.
And when I read it initially, I thought it was a typo, and I said I was about to message Jamie and go, "You've put this thing instead of this." And then I read the next little bit, and I messaged him, and I'm like, "No," and I said I did not see that coming at all, and he was very happy with that. So
I love a good twist. The only thing because that twist was huge, but with Destin, I don't think the twist was as huge. It was impactful. I had to make it impactful. I went for impactful over surprise.
I mean, it's one of those things where when you say that there's a traitor, you know there's going to be a traitor. So like part of the part of the twist is there. It's just it's just going to be who it is. So it's kind of like it.
And then it wasn't.
Yeah. Well, and that's where the second twist, like a corkscrew.
Yeah.
But
Well,
that's
I
where
thought,
the lack, I suppose, of some element of surprise might be, is where you introduce that it's
Yeah.
going to, you're expecting it to an extent. But that's no fault. Like
Yeah.
that's not a
well, I think for maybe about, I think maybe for a couple of chapters, I thought, okay, maybe he's going to do a twist, and maybe the traitor is Harvey, because I remember specifically he
Yeah.
was saying, Harvey, you're the only one I
trust
can
you.
trust.
Yeah.
You're the only person I can trust out of all of it. I'm like, oh, that could be like.
It just like
really,
I was like, oh, it just smells like fish, all this red herring. I'm
yeah, yeah. It was
Well-
like that could be that could be a really impactful betrayal. But
Well,
then
he was a garbage man.
yeah.
He was a garbage man. Yeah.
It's all that like
Yeah.
it's not even red herring. It's like what's that like Swedish stuff in the tin? That thing, the
Yeah.
surströmming, whatever it is. It's like red surströmming.
Yeah.
Just leave it
Yeah.
around.
But that I think could have been. I think the only way that that could have been the second most impactful reveal of the traitor thing, with the first being what you actually did. I think I would have been shocked if it was Harvey, but kind of knew a little bit in the back
Yeah.
of my mind. But at not one spot reading that book did I not think that there was not a traitor.
Yeah.
Like I always knew, okay, I'm trying to figure out who the traitor is. But movies that we watched that have traitors in them,
Yeah.
there's a twist, but it's always the person you don't expect, not the fact that there wasn't a traitor in the whole thing.
Yeah.
And they're
So,
actually
yeah,
right.
well done on that.
They did get a point where I was like, maybe there isn't a traitor in it. That is the twist.
Yeah.
It's like it kept you on your toes, and you needed very much a Inspector Clouseau hat on to kind of try and figure out.
Yeah.
But because things moved not quickly, but like everything moved in a pace that was kind of like, okay, we've got this happening. This is happening now. Like you couldn't dwell on it too much to a point that it was okay. I wonder. So is this person like it was the pacing and the mystery was well enough kind of entwined that it kind of you couldn't, and like maybe if you read the book in dribs and drabs, but when like you sit down and just read chapter, everything flowed very well, so the mystery wasn't kind of obvious. You were kept guessing.
Yeah, and the fact that it was only one.
Well, I had to stop after the big reveal. I had to stop for the night. I'm like, okay, that I can't. I need to have like a break in between. I need 24 hours before I can read that again, because I was like, that needs to sit with me for a bit, because to me that was like the big that was like the biggest twist in the whole book. And I was like, okay, same as the book I'm reading at the moment. When my favorite character died in that, I was like, okay, I'm stopping for the moment. And then I picked it up later on that evening. I just needed to say, okay, breathe, process, and then get back to it. And that's the sign of a good story.
Yeah. The only way the twist could have been better was maybe if it was Destin's mum. There's a curveball.
Oh wow, yeah, that would be. I really enjoyed. I don't know. I teared up a little bit when I was doing when they're writing notes back and forth.
Yeah.
Like I was going for that mother.
Yeah.
Thing. No. It's just.
Oh, it was 100%. Like it just. Like you could tell. Like I initially thought maybe the dad knew a little bit more than he was letting on, and maybe he was the one feeding Talkers all that information. But then when they kind of moved away, and he didn't really come back to his house. I was like, well, probably not the dad. His dad might have known a little bit.
It really took some. I don't know. I didn't know if I was going to bring them back into it at all.
Okay.
I didn't even think I was going to bring the mum back into it at all. But then I kind of thought, no, Ryan will go, well, what'd happen to the mum? I knew enough people would be like going, well, what happened to the, and I didn't want to have to answer a question.
It's honestly, it was the whole thing with I mean, I related to, I really love that you brought her back and she got to meet Brianna and everything like that. Because to me personally, like my mum passed away 15 years ago and she never got to meet my wife. And, that's the happiest I've ever been with being with my wife. And that's something that I wish that could have happened. And to see that play out in the story, it made me smile. It made me happy because, like, he got to have that interaction between Brianna and his mum that, I kind of wish my wife and my mum had. So yeah, that's why I'm really glad that you did bring her back into it. When they all sort of moved to the castle towards the last act of the book.
You were going to say something, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, I was just gonna say like I didn't want to get like too personal. I was like, I mean, kind of like Ryan. I was gonna say like the fact that like in my books, one of the things I have is like so in my life, my mother died when I was like 1.5. So in like my books, one of the main sort of like characters, he has the reverse where it was his like he never knew his father.
Yeah.
It was like he had his mother his whole life, never knew his father. I was just like, was there any experience with like I don't know your personal history? Was there any kind of experience from your family or anything like that, your parents or grandparents or anything like that that was inspirational towards Destin's family at all? Or was that just purely imagination?
No, it's imagination. Like again, I was playing off a bit of Ned Kelly because he was really close with his mum. I mean, I'm close with my mum, but just like I haven't lost any close family.
Yeah.
But specifically Ned Kelly's dad did die from alcohol poisoning.
Right.
You
Okay.
know, so I wanted to put a little bit of Ned Kelly into it, but not heaps. So basically, any time that I got stuck, I think Google Ned Kelly. What happened with Ned Kelly? And I kind of
Bits of
just
source there.
but I didn't want to make it too Ned Kelly. Like so
And there was that nice little tribute when
yes,
Destin found the gun in
I
his grandfather's with
the
the
gun,
initial
yeah.
NK.
yeah,
I was like,
that
yeah, okay,
that was Ned Kelly's gun, his actual gun.
yeah.
Which is in a
Yeah.
museum somewhere. Um,
Yeah, I personally, being a Brit, I don't know a huge amount
yeah,
about Ned Kelly. I know the sort of like the rough basics, but
yeah,
I asked my wife about it, and like she was like, oh yeah, she. I mean, she's Australian. She
yeah,
knows a fair bit. She's been down to the museums and she's been
yeah,
down to sort of all that kind of thing. But I was like, yeah, she was like, oh yeah, no, there's all that there and all that kind
yeah,
of stuff. I was like, okay, that's an interesting sort of inclusion into the
yeah,
story
yeah.
as well.
Well, I wanted to make it feel Australian as possible. There was kangaroos, there was kookaburras. I love that I made the aliens absolutely hate them.
Yeah. And it's like it's a bit of a shame that Amy Cormack isn't here because that's one of the things I quite enjoyed about his book, Prepare for Me a Shallow
Mm,
Grave. For
yeah,
anyone who's
I'm going
listening,
through it. I'm working through it.
there's quite a lot of very enjoyable sort of like Australiana
Yeah,
nuggets in there, which is
yeah,
again, I don't know if I appreciate it more for being a Brit in
yeah.
Australia, so I'm like that's a thing, or whether I like
I know what that is. Yeah,
Yeah. But no, like again, it was like fun picking out on those little
yeah,
things that I destined too.
yeah. And even the song that Jazz sang at the end is an actual. It's great. It's a public domain song, and I just changed the lyrics. You know, you
Right.
know,
Okay.
to
Hey,
an old
Okay.
Australian folk song. Um, yeah,
that's what the public domain's there for.
it is. I looked it up and went, yes, it's free. I won't get, copyright
Suit to
infringement.
buggery.
Yeah, cool. All right, any last thoughts before we wrap it up, folks?
Uh, yeah, get on that sequel prequel.
Get on the sequel prequel.
Jump on that as soon as you could. That'd be great.
Yeah.
But other than that, no, I appreciate you sending me a copy. I've really enjoyed the read. I will be jumping on Anchor as soon as I can drag myself away from children in my own
Yeah.
writing.
Yeah. Well, it's free on Kindle Unlimited for everyone playing at home. So is iDestin. That'll be free on Kindle Unlimited. And go get a copy because it's out now.
Do it.
Do it. Well, thanks for coming on, guys, and having a
Uh,
having a chin wag. let's do the rounds again. Plug yourself, Matt. Where can people buy your books?
Yeah, so A Reign of Emerald Fire, A Path Fraught with Ruin are both available on Amazon, Kindle Unlimited as well. You can find it on various online retailers, and if you DM me, I've got personal copies that I can sign for you if you really want me to ruin your copy for you and send it to you for extortionate postage.
Especially if you're in America.
Yes.
I sent my one book to the Bearded Book Beast, and it cost me $42.
Yeah, the one person who
Wow.
bought a physical copy for me in America, I sent it to them and I kind of said our postage will be about this, there or thereabouts. And they were like, oh no, I'll happily pay whatever it is, just let me
Yeah.
know. And then I took it to the post office and it was like $10 more than what I quoted, and I just
Yeah.
swallowed the cost. I sold them a copy of the book at a loss because I just
Yeah.
felt guilty at
Mm.
selling them a
Yeah.
book. Like, oh, I can't charge
Yeah.
someone $50 plus for a copy of my
Yeah.
book. I feel
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
But
Well, I always feel kind of better because it's American currency, so it always sounds cheaper. Yeah.
however you can justify it to yourself is like, yeah, it
Yeah.
works. But yeah,
Yeah.
I don't. So I'm just like, I've got like terminal, not survivor's guilt. What's the other one? Not survivor's guilt. Imposter syndrome.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
it. So I'm just like,
I get that a lot.
I can't charge someone that for my books.
Yeah.
They're going to use it as a doorstop within a
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, like I've done that.
Yeah. Cool. All right, plug your wife's wares again, Neil, or if you've got something you want to plug. Um,
Oh, not at the moment. I have things in the pipeline, but nothing concrete yet. Yes, check out Rebecca Cassells and her writing, the Rising Dawn series. Start with Spark Revolution. It's on Amazon and Kindle. I think it's on Kindle Unlimited. Alternatively, if you want something a bit more grounded, check out The Broken Cabin. I did have a hand in helping out with that one, so there we go. And it's nice to know what my wife will be wanting to replace me with should I shuffle loose the model coil. She's also been streaming a lot on TikTok, doing author sprints where to help encourage herself and other authors to just sit down and start writing in I think they've been doing 30-minute runs where should you come unstuck with something and you need to sound something off, there's people there. She's been doing those most weekday evenings from 9 GMT. I don't know account names or anything at the moment, but look her up, check that out if you want.
Excellent. Do you want to plug your shirt, Ryan? You never plug your shirt enough. Living the dream.
I'm
Living
good.
the dream. You're good. Ask people to buy your shirt.
It's the number one selling story, true and the fictional shirt in my household.
Yeah.
Because my wife bought me one. But yeah, look, just buy my shirt, I guess. I don't know. I've kind of given up because no one else has ever bought my shirt, so I'm kind of given up.
Well, you never know. You never know.
Well, buy my shirt if you too want to live the dream like I do.
Yeah,
you can
buy your shirt
and check out all the other story, true and the fictional merch. I think we've got the shirt Jamie's wearing, read indie authors, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So check it out. And buy Jamie's books because they're good.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Actually, yes. Buy my books. They're wonderful. Sometimes. Yeah. Anyway, guys, Destin is out now. Go grab a copy. Stay tuned for what's coming next. But as always, check out our sponsors, Rebecca Cassells and Martin Kearns. All the links are down below. And if you want to reach out, thetrueandthefictional@gmail.com. Until next time, keep supporting those indie authors, and we will catch you on the next episode.